be smart with him, kind of like we did JP Flynn a few years ago, where we just kind of went on the play days he goes, on some of the fundamental days he doesn't go. And I think his presence and his leadership, obviously being a 4-year starter on that group, that probably impacted some of the flow a little bit on the offensive line. But regardless of that, I think really the credit goes to the defense. Those guys, you guys didn't get to see it yesterday, but the defense got taken care of. They got casted on pretty good yesterday, and they came out with the right mindset today. And they obviously wanted to get it back. They ended up with 5 takeaways. And as I told the offense, we're going to win a lot of games if our defense takes the ball away 5 times. We're not going to win any if our offense gives it away 5 times. And so, that ebb and flow of fall camp, it kind of is what it is. And as I told the group at the end, what I'm really more interested in from an offensive standpoint is how these guys respond tomorrow when we go back into our more situational 11-on-11 periods.
Who are the 5 turnovers? All interceptions?
I think they were all interceptions. Yeah. Well, no, we had 1 fumble. It was off a bad snap. Yeah. So 4 interceptions, and really 2 of them were balls that were dropped. It should have been big plays for the offense that fly off the receiver's hands and goes into the safeties. And one of them was in our red ball period right out of the gate, seam ball that Ryan kind of bounced off his hands, and that kind of got it started for the defense, and they carried that momentum through the rest of the day.
Your secondary, does that kind of give quarterbacks good looks?
Yeah, well, there's no question. I think this is a pretty experienced, long, athletic, rangy, fast secondary, and when you combine that with guys like Amandre Williams and Troy Anderson coming off the edge, that's a little bit of a problem. And so I don't think that our offense is going to be the only group that's going to have trouble with that.
Do you think it's been more difficult to evaluate the quarterbacks given how good the defense is played?
I think somewhat. It's interesting because you have these days where part of it is we're putting in more offense, so there's more for them to think about. They haven't had the bank reps, and defensively, especially on the D line and it's secondary, once the ball's in the air, it's reactionary. Once the ball's snapped, it's reactionary. And so the precision's not going to be there early on. I thought, like in the 9-on-7 period, I thought the offense kind of handled it, because we put in our gap schemes, kind of what our bread and butter's been, power and counter over the last 3 years, and the defensive guys didn't fit that initially really well. And so, that's kind of, it's never as good as you think, it's never as bad as you think. You got to kind of go watch the film and kind of evaluate where it is. But clearly the defense had the upper hand.
What do you need to do to improve the kickoff return coverage?
Kickoff coverage, well, I think some of it's Jimmy's and Joe's. I really do. I think that us, making an investment and getting a better team speed. I think I look at a guy like Blake Flo, for example. He's a guy to me that should be a great kickoff coverage guy. Some of it is, it's one of those deals where I have this expression: you can't play football with 2 hands around your neck. Almost like clockwork. If you give up a big return, you start playing on your heels. And so what you've got to do is you've got to be able to eliminate that mindset and just play fast and physical all the time. And some of that, again, it's the individuals that are doing it. I really don't think it was a scheme thing for us last year. I just think it was, getting out in front of some things. And once we get popped a little bit, our guys were a little tentative. And then you're like, oh, do we sky kick here and just give up field position? And, we don't want to wave a white flag. We want to let that be the tone setter for our team. And it's certainly been a point of emphasis in terms of the offseason for us.
You talked a little bit about load management with some of the older guys. How do you balance that load management with a guy like Isaiah Fossey, a guy who was so productive as a freshman, got a lot of run? How do you balance that work?
I think his deal is this. I think he's a really instinctual, excellent football player as a running back. I think he's a willing and good blocker, but where he's really got to improve is as a pass catcher. I think to become a complete back. And so, you kind of look at it like that too. It's like, what does this guy do well? Do I really need a ton more reps at that? Let's kind of find out what he needs to improve on and manage our workload a little bit that way too. He's not going to take a lot of shots. Everything that we're doing right now is stud tempo, and we'll have some live periods, of course, and get into some scrimmage stuff. But, I think he's just, running back is such an instinctual position. The one thing you don't want to do is overcoach those guys. Let them be creative. Let them find where they need to go. There was a run he made today in the inside run period where I was like, oh, that was, he's so patient, just kind of glided in there, and pretty soon he popped out the other end. And, you can't really coach that.
Was that instinctive nature play into why Troy's ability to produce that position even though not practicing out as much?
I think that has a lot to do with it. Once, he's a guy who's had the ball in his hands a lot as a high school quarterback and a point guard and all those things. And so I think that's another reason why he can just kind of go in there, plug and play, give him the ball, and let him, hey, it's designed to go here. Let your instincts take you where you want to go.
You have a bunch of running backs who have different skill sets. Are you worried that, if Logan Jones is in, you're going to show defenses that it's going to be a pass, or is that kind of your mindset?
I think you're always going to have tendencies. There's no question about it, and I think we've got to be aware of those through our self-scout and then massage that as we go. But, it's kind of funny because I think a lot of them are pretty similar, really. You look at Logan and Lane are kind of the same body type, and, even Isaiah is a similar body type to those guys. Hosey's a little bit longer, taller guy. Shane Perry's kind of more, really what I'd like to do is get a big back. You know, that's one of the things, you know, like Nick was saying, type of back where you got this 220-pound guy who's got decent speed. You may see us use somebody that's in the program in that regard, and he can probably fill in blank on that one. And you know, that is, you know, 230 pounds and runs pretty well. And so, you know, we've got to be able to do that. And tomorrow will be interesting because tomorrow is an offensive emphasis day for us in the red zone, meaning that Troy will play offense, Amandre will play offense. And so you'll see guys that have been just specifically on defense for the first little bit, and these guys will get some opportunities to show what they can do on the offensive side of the ball too.
How do you like your inside linebacker depth?
I don't know if we can get much deeper. I mean, there's a lot of experience game-wise, but I mean, Josh today, this is the first live period he'd had in a practice in basically 2 years. And he was the loudest guy out there. He'd never really been much of a talker, but he was chirping pretty good today. And so, yeah, it was like, it was good to have him back out there. But I think Josh brings something to us. I mean, Chad knows a physical force. He thumped some guys in 9-on-7 today. You know, I think Callahan O'Reilly and Nolan Askelson have both had unbelievable summers. You're not even getting to Michael Jobman. I mean, Walker Cozy, who's a senior, so you can see the depth that we have at that position. And I think coming back to one of Greg's questions, that should help us on kickoff coverage. You know, having that depth and having a lot of those guys that are those types of have that type of skill set.
Where do you see your tight end competition, and you know, what do those guys have to do to stand out?
Yeah, I think that's the one right now that's probably the most, I've got my eyes on the most, because we do have, even though we don't have the game experience, we do have a lot of options at inside linebacker. But, you know, we just don't have the game experience at the tight end position. Ryan's played in some games for us. RJ's played in some games for us, but haven't really had significant roles. And so that's going to be the one where we've got to see the most growth through the course of the camp. We don't expect it to be perfect right now.
What does Jacob have to do to, you know, adjust to that position?
Yeah, I think, I mean, he's a natural pass catcher. He was great, not a good, but a great high school single A wide receiver and basketball player in the state of Montana. And so he's got really good ball skills, and he's a fluid route runner. And so it's just now about really the skills of blocking a little bit more of the details of that fundamental. And as he picks that up, he's a long, athletic guy. So I think he'll be fine.
Can you talk about the evaluation process of the inside linebacker position? And in this scheme, it seems like you have the edges pretty well tied up. How important is that position, and what goes into the evaluation?
I think there's going to be a lot of balls that are funneled to those guys, and so they're going to have to be efficient tacklers. I mean, you look over the hill and you think about like a Dante Olson, you know, I mean, that guy's a tackling machine, but that's because other guys are doing their job. It's not like he's just making every play by himself out there. And so, you know, we've got to have the ability to funnel the ball to those guys and not allow things to hit us vertically and crease us. I will say this, the evaluation part of it's going to be the most critical, because they have to know what the decision and how the decision is going to be made. I've been a part of this as a linebacker coach where we had a group of guys that really had a lot of skill. They were doing a lot of separation, and so what it's come down to? It comes down to production. And so starting from practice 5, which is, you know, basically tomorrow, we're gonna start rolling and have our production, and it'll be posted in the locker room every day, so everybody's gonna know, hey, this is who's leading that battle. And then when we get to the point where we're making a decision on who the starter is, whatever that really means, based on whether we're in base personnel, Spartan personnel, nickel personnel, there's no question about who that should be, because we've been upfront and honest and told them what the criteria was going to be for that role.
And will Josh Hill and Chad Gano be able to go full within those parameters to be able to compete at that level?
Chad, for sure. Yeah, he has no limitations. Really, Josh is fully cleared. I know what Josh can do, and you know, but I still think we got to be smart. I just don't want to. I don't want to for no reason.
Before Tucker was hurt last year, I guess how close was he to playing stuff?
Well, I think we were going to start him. I mean, that wasn't even a conversation. I mean, that was already kind of Troy was beat up at that point, to be honest with you. And I mean, he broke his hand in game 1. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on that you guys probably don't know about. But this guy was already kind of at the point where we got to manage him a little bit more. We can't have him take a lot more shots, and we were ready to just turn it over to him. Now, that doesn't mean that Troy wouldn't have had a role in that quarterback position, and that would have been still his primary role. But as far as the guy that was going to take every snap, that wasn't going to be him moving forward until that happened with Tucker's foot. And so I think that changed a lot of things for Tucker, for us, for Troy. It worked itself out, but you know, I mean, that was kind of a foregone conclusion at that point. And quite honestly, to keep Troy healthy through the remainder of the season, we were going to have to take some reps off him, and it just didn't work out that way. But I think again, that's a testament to Troy's toughness. He was able to finish it out.
What have you seen from Lane Sumner so far?
You know, Lane has a very similar skill set that Logan does. Lane's a lot faster than you think he is. And I think that's one thing I'll say about Lane. Lane's got really good balance and vision, very fast runner. He's a smart kid. I think he's a guy who's got a big ceiling in this program. I really do.
What's the next step for him? Is it start on special teams?
Yeah, I think he's got to get on the field consistently in the kicking game and carve out a role on offense. You know, every guy's, you know, the Boise State system, so to speak, that Matt's really kind of implementing here is really based on a lot of personnel groups, and each individual kid's going to have a role. It might be a play that they're responsible for knowing in a given personnel group, and I can see that's, gain trust on special teams and then earn your role in some personnel groups, and then how it expands is how you produce.
Can you evaluate maybe the pecking order of the kickoff and punt return guys so far?
Yeah, I'd say probably on the kickoff return side, Logan would be number one, and at punt return, I'd really like to see Willie get there. Obviously, Kevin's been such a steady Eddie for us, and that's a great thing to have back there. Possession is the most important thing on the punt return, but I think Willie gets us a little bit more, and so I'd like to see, he's got to earn it, but I'd like to see Willie kind of take that role over, and then we've got some other options. I think we might see Isaiah back doing some kickoff return stuff. You might see Troy do some kickoff return stuff. I think he'd be a natural kickoff returner, but we've got some options. But I think Logan's got a good feel for it.
Coach, Isaiah had such a standout year last year. Are you hopeful that he'll have another 1,000+ rushing season this year?
I mean, we're probably going to somebody's going to carry the ball in some way, shape, or form, divide it up however you want, between 480 and 530 times. Okay, that's who we are. And so, if you get that many opportunities, I would like to think that you're going to have a reasonably efficient yards per carry, which would lead to good numbers. But to put that kind of pressure on a kid and say, hey, you got to get us 1,000, I don't think that's what we're all about. It's about, hey, rolling with the hot hand, who's working, who's healthy. A lot of factors that go into that. Do I think he's capable of it? Certainly, I think he's capable.
Do you ever worry about any motivation within that running back room when Troy's not competing there, knowing that he'll be carries? Do you ever worry about motivation to the other guys knowing that?
All we have to do is put him in the room. That'll motivate him. And, like I said, we're going to do what we have to do. And if that means 15's carrying the ball, 15's carrying the ball. And we'll put Daniel Hardy off the edge, and we'll be fine. So, I think we've got enough depth at the linebacker position. I think it's Troy's natural position. I really believe that. But I also think he's such a unique, special talent that we've got to make other teams defend him. Good. Yeah. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks,